our bunch we're going to be taking a look at is the 2013 Volkswagen Passat. Just taking a look at the front end. It's a really pretty good looking car. I really like this new modern Volkswagen design language. It's very smooth, it's very clean. But one of the things I really like about it is it's got these sharp headlights that kind of glare at you. It's got a little bit of a menace on it. So it's kind of a friendly car, but you can get a sense that there's a little bit of performance backing it up. I really like that look. So coming around to the side, we see that it's got some good-sized wheels, but they're not too big. One of the things I like is the fact that you have a lot of tire, and when you think about going over a bump, a little bit of extra cushion goes a long way to increasing the comfort of your ride. So let's take a look inside. So taking a look inside, you've got perforated leather seats. They're not air conditioned, unfortunately, but they are pretty comfortable. They've got some nice bolsters. They're adjustable, fully electric, with lumbar support, so that makes for a very comfortable seat. Once we move to the back seat, we can see that it easily fits 2 car seats. So this is definitely a very family car. One feature you might not realize is with the back seat this large, your baby's not going to be kicking the back of your seat. I think that's going to be a real feature for some of our parents out there. I don't think the look of the rear is particularly special, but one of the things I particularly like about this car, when I can get the button to work, there we go, is the size of this trunk. This trunk is really huge. It's kind of dark so you can't really see it. But I'm actually going to climb in here, and you can see that I fit really easily, and you could probably fit 2 or 3 of me in here. So I think from that perspective, it definitely passes the mobster test. This is three bodies approved trunk. All right, here we are. We're inside the 2013 Passat. It's a really nice car to be in. Let's see. It's got sort of a conventional layout. It's got a 2-tone interior, so you get the dark black with the sort of a gray, sort of a beige. The materials, though, they're really pretty nice. This is a nice sort of soft touch plastic, so it's kind of nice to touch. Yeah, it seems like most of the materials in the cabin are pretty solid. Some of them, this faux metal, you know, for my taste, I'd rather it be real metal if you're going to make it look like metal at all, but it's pretty nice. The steering wheel, it's nicely sized. It's got a nice little bulge for your hands, which is kind of a nice thing. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of buttons on the steering wheel. Some of these look kind of mysterious like that. I have no idea what that button does. But overall, it's a pretty nice steering wheel, and I'm sure I could understand how to use it without too much trouble. Gauges are really easy to see, especially with the adjustable steering wheel. This is a really nice feature for drivers like me. I really like to have the steering wheel very close to me, so it's very nice to have that option to adjust all that. So lock that back up. You can also see it's got a nice media center for your radio, your navigation, your things like that. So it's a pretty nice screen. Not too many buttons, not too crowded, which is nice. I think for a newer car, I would definitely prefer to have climate control for each side where you could actually set the temperature. And I have no idea why the fan has 6 settings. I mean, that just seems kind of overkill, but that's all right. Maybe it's just so you can have, 2 more settings than your friends, but that's all right. Looking down to the shift lever, it's a nice shift lever. It's got the push down to go for reverse. I think that's pretty standard. One of the things I do like is these blank spaces where ordinarily you'd have buttons. They did a nice job of sort of dressing it up. So even if you don't have those options selected on your particular car, it still looks pretty good. So overall, it's a pretty nice handling car. We've got a small little course set up here, so hop in, I'll show you what it's like. Just give it a drive here. It's got an easy-to-drive manual transmission. This is my first time driving this car, so being able to just tool around with it without really learning how to drive it, pretty interesting. And actually, this is my first time driving a diesel car. So I'm going to give it a little bit of gas in second gear. It's got some nice torque, no pickup. So I'm not, even though it's a diesel, I don't feel like I'm lacking for power. It feels like it'll get up and go, which is nice. All right. So we're going over some railroad tracks now, so you can do sort of a railroad track test. Smooth over the tracks, my goodness. Most of the time you go over railroad tracks, you really kind of realize that didn't feel like much of anything. So that was good. I will stall the car there, so knowing that it's a pretty smooth engine. having trouble finding first.
Your engine might be off.
So that's a good example of how smooth the engine is. Is I didn't even realize it was off. I installed the car and I didn't even realize it. So it's smooth even when you stall it. That's a smooth car. Alright, so we've got a short little course here. We're going to do a little bit of spirited driving just so we can get an understanding of how grippy this car is. So let's take a look here. So get it started in second gear. This is pretty rough cardboard, or pretty rough tarmac, but you can see even with taking some sharper turns, it really feels like a very composed chassis, and it holds together really pretty well. When you get into the power, you can really sort of feel the car take off. So that's a good solid feeling to have. Yeah, it might just be a family kind of car, but it really kind of hustles around. So you can be sure that if you're in one of those situations where you need a little bit of extra get up and go, it'll get up and go. Overall, the 2013 Passat TDI provides impressive fuel economy, a utilitarian interior, a handsome exterior, and a refined, capable chassis.